Hi, I'm going to share with you how I make pigs in a blanket. I make a big batch, so I buy 2 of these little containers of little weenies, and as soon as I cut them, I try to drain the oil out into the sink, so I do drain them, okay? And then I get 3 containers of crescent rolls, so 3 of these. So that's how many it takes. And in a perfect world, you would have 72, because in a crescent roll there are 8, and then you cut them into thirds. So that means 24 would go nicely with 1 can. So when I lay my weenies out, I lay them in rows of 12. So I know that this is 1 can, this is 1 can, and this is 1 can. And I also take a fork and I pierce them. I do that also. So that's already been done. With the Food Lion weenies, there tends to be more than 72. So now I have 10 extra here. So the way I handle it is I will take 3 and pair it with that one. And I just keep doing that. So that way I'm not going to mess up. And then I take my, let me move this. I'd already cut that one. So this is 1 triangle, and I use a plastic pizza cutter to cut them apart. And so ideally I would be able to cut this into thirds. And that's the easiest, nicest, best way. It's just easy. But when you need to have 4, then I'll cut it in half, and then I'll cut each of those in half. So now I'm going to have pigs in bikinis. And before I roll them, I'll kind of smash them to get a little more of that grease out. And then I try and flatten the first little bit just to give it more coverage. And then I just roll it up. And then I have a bowl ready to put it in, and I just toss it in. And I make them the night before, and it's just fine. And I put some plastic wrap over the top, and in the morning when I take it out of the refrigerator, I take this plastic wrap and just lay it and then just dump this. And even though they're sticky together a little bit, it makes them real easy to get to because you've dumped them out of the bowl. And then I have 2 cookie sheets that has parchment paper on it. And what I do is I'll keep a count of how many that I made. So right now I know that it was 72, because 3 times 12 is 72, plus the 10 over here. So it's going to be 82, and then I will divide that by 2, so 41. So I'm going to make sure I do 41 on this sheet and 41 on this sheet. And then I bake them at 375 degrees for 15 minutes. And the exception is the last 2 minutes. So after you've had them in there 13 minutes, then I change it from bake to broil for those last 2 minutes. And that makes them brown really nicely. It doesn't burn them. It just gives them this nice, just a nice tan look to them. So that is how I do my pigs in the blanket. One other thing that I have that I think is great if you can get your hands on it. This is from Longaberger. I don't know where this one is from, but these are the ceramic things that you'll get a basket thing that has a little pocket it slides into, and that keeps your pigs nice and hot. And it'll tell you don't put it over a certain degree or so many minutes. And so far, I've been very blessed that this is still hanging in there. And what I'll do is I'll just kind of set it there on that lowest rack. This is after it's reached 375 degrees, because I'll preheat. And then I'll stick it right in there with the cookie sheet. And then when it gets to be the 13 minutes, then with my hot pad, I'll take this out and put it up, and then change it to broil, so that I get that really nice look for the pigs. So I hope that you have found this helpful.